das jetzt geht. Sieht ja gut aus. Moin. Ich hatte am PC letztens das Problem, dass meine Webcam hier, ne, die auf einmal stand. Das andere ging aber alles weiter und ich konnte Stream Deck nicht mehr bedienen. Das führte auch dazu, dass ich den Stream nicht beenden konnte, also musste ich das mit der Maus machen und dazu muss man dann erstmal umschalten mit Alt-Tab und so weiter, damit man aus dem Spiel rauskommt. So, ich habe hier ein schönes Spiel aufgelegt, The Forgotten City, Version 1.2.3. Ihr lest selber, was da rechts steht, ne, falls ihr also das selber rausfinden wollt. Falls ich das rausfinde. Ich kenne das Spiel nicht. Ich habe es noch nie gespielt. Dazu muss ich anmerken, ich habe heute über den Microsoft Store von Windows für 1 Euro den ultimativen Game Pass freigeschaltet. Ne, dieser 1 Euro gilt für einen Monat und du bekommst zusätzlich 2 Monate dazu. Das heißt, ich kann jetzt bis Ende März immer die neuesten Spiele anspielen. Natürlich habe ich erstmal geguckt, was ich noch nicht habe und dann erstmal runtergeladen. Und unter anderem auch dieses Spiel hier. Ne, man hat da so viel drüber gelesen, das wurde so hoch gelobt. Also habe ich mir gedacht, dann mache ich das mal. Ich habe jetzt den Controller angeschaltet. Ich habe gesehen, dass das auch mit Controller bedienbar ist. Ich mache das ja ganz gerne mit Controller. Und nun bin ich mal gespannt, was mir das Spiel bietet. Ob ich damit klarkomme, ob es ein Tutorial gibt. Ihr wisst ja, anspielen heißt für mich auch Tutorial gucken. Und dann wollen wir mal mit A auswählen. Neues Spiel. So. Sie sehen nichts. Aber im Moment läuft noch alles ganz gut hier, so wie das aussieht. Ich hoffe, das bleibt so. Das Schicksal der Stadt liegt schon wieder in meiner Händen. So, es lädt. Oh, das kann man sehen, okay. Ich werde jetzt auch wieder ein paar Spiele anspielen die Tage, weil ich ja so viel neue habe. Für lau, für 1 Euro, da kann man doch nicht meckern, ne? Da kann man echt nichts verkehrt machen. 3 Monate. Allerdings ist das für den PC, nicht für die Xbox, ne?
You're alive. When I dragged you out of the river, I thought you were never gonna wake up. I checked your pockets for ID, a phone, maybe. I hope you don't mind. But all I found was some loose change. So, wanna tell me who you are?
Ach, jetzt kann ich mir Körpertyp auswählen. Keine Ahnung. Ah. So. Ach so, da sind die Hände. Ah ja. Machen wir mal so. Auswählen. Spieler.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And I'm sorry to pry, but any idea why you were floating down the river? What's the last thing you remember?
Ah, Archäologe. Dann mache ich das hier.
It does look like you took a pretty hard blow to the head. You're just lucky you've been given a second chance. Which is why I feel terrible for what I'm about to say, but I have a favor to ask. There are some ruins just behind you. Roman, I think. I need you to go in there and see if you can find a guy named Al for me. He went in there a few hours ago, and he hasn't come out. I've been freaking out, wondering if he's trapped or injured or worse. I would have gone in after him, but he made me promise to stay here, no matter what. There's no way I'm leaving without him. So I'm just kind of stuck here. waiting. What I mean is, I was hoping you wouldn't mind going in there to find him. If you can do that, I can get both of you back to civilization in my boat. Please? Oh, of course. Sorry, I don't mean to be pushy. I just... What do you
Was
want to
möchtest
know?
du wissen?
Oh, there's not much to tell. Feels like I've spent my whole life in a dead-end job with an endless commute. Know what I mean?
Ja, bitte, den Namen.
Oh, I'd rather not say if it's all the same to you. All right, fine. Sorry if I sounded cagey, it's just that I don't always get the best reactions when I introduce myself. My name's Karen. You're welcome. Always happy to help. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Yes. Wer
He's
ist
the guy who
Eil?
washed up on the riverbank not long before you did. I thought maybe you two knew each other. I guess not. But maybe the two of you can piece together what you're doing here. In any case, you'll like him, I'm sure. Once you find him, that is. You really don't remember? We're in Italy.
Ah,
This
am
river is the
Tiber.
Tiber.
Ja, endlich mal eine Auslandsreise.
Not much, really. But imagine what you might find in there. Priceless ancient artifacts. What am I, an idiot? You could hike a long, long way in any direction and never find another soul. Trust me.
Okay, das war dann alles.
Great. So you're ready to go look for Al?
Yes.
Thank you. The entrance is just past those columns behind you. Please, hurry. Oh,
Hurry.
and he left this here. But I think you'll need it more than I will.
Eine Waffe. Taschenlampe. Oh. Wo ist der Knopf? Da. Okay. Gegenstand nehmen. Zack. Das ruckelt aber ganz schön. Das ist zum Beispiel ein Spiel, was man über EA Play dann runterlädt. Dazu muss man dann EA Play installieren. Kostet aber nichts. Und aha, mit Taschenlampe. Okay, okay, gut. Das ist ja schon mal ein Tipp. Da hatte ich mich nämlich schon gerade gefragt. 6 Meter. Gibt es hier noch irgendwas zu finden? Sieht nicht so aus, ne? Wenn ich da jetzt rumgehe, komme ich nicht rein, ne? Gehen wir da durch. Komm. Ja, da bin ich ja mal gespannt. Dieses Spiel war mal ein Mod, was 3 Millionen Mal heruntergeladen wurde. Und da haben wir jetzt ein Spiel draus gemacht. Okay, jetzt bin ich gesprintet. Na, dann gehen wir da erstmal zu diesem Tempel hin, was? Alte Bäume. Ach, da ist nichts drin. Da geht's wohl auch erst los. Aha, da ist der Rucksack. Rabinerhaken. Ich kann die nicht nehmen. Also ich muss B drücken. A drücke ich, aber geht nicht. Also zurücklassen. Dann gucken wir doch noch mal hier ein bisschen rum. Ob ich hier irgendwas sehe. Da ist kein Durchkommen. Hier geht es gar nicht weiter. Okay, also kann ich nur durch die Tür gehen. Und da steht was.
If you're reading this, it means I've discovered the entrance to an ancient Roman city hidden deep underground. Its existence is long forgotten, all knowledge of it lost, except in the Latin inscription here. It reads, "You who wish to enter the city, step forth and be judged. The virtuous shall be rewarded with eternal life in paradise.
Ja.
The wicked shall find themselves showered in gold, but in vain, for this shall be their final resting place." Could an underground city have remained a secret for all this time? Could people have survived down there, against the odds? It seems there's only one way to find out. If I'm not back in an hour, I'm somewhere on the other side. Consider this an invitation, or a warning. Alworth.
Oh, Alworth. Okay, dann können wir jetzt erstmal eintreten. Die Tür hat sich natürlich hinter mir geschlossen, wie das immer so ist. Oh, jetzt geht's down. Ich scheine unter Wasser zu sein hier. Aha, das ist der Eingang zur geheimen Stadt. Gut, wo bin ich jetzt hergekommen? Da und da über ist... Da ist ein Loch, wo ich durchgefallen bin. Der Fahrstuhl war nicht mehr in Ordnung, ne? Was ist denn da unten? Aha. Da auch noch was? Überall brennt das Feuer. Kohig Esne. Was ist das denn jetzt wieder? Ich als alter Nicht-Latriner habe natürlich keine Ahnung, was hier steht. Ja, das habe ich gerade getan. Nochmal so eine. Klage. Muss ich die jetzt alle hier inspizieren, oder? Nö, anscheinend nicht. Gehen wir hier durch? So, können wir eigentlich mal machen, ne? Jetzt gleich wieder ein tiefer? Nein. Wie ein Mann in Gold verwandelt. Aha. Das ist das Mosaik hier. Trotzdem noch mal ein bisschen leuchten hier. Den können wir nicht inspizieren. Okay, das war nur die Frau da, ne? Und der auch nicht. Also nur diese irgendwie nicht in diesen Teilen stehen, ne? In diesen Alkoven. Na, da ist eine Tür. Was jetzt? Ach, er lädt. Aha, der Ladebildschirm. Mann, ich habe so viel RAM, da hättest du vorher schon mal was vorladen können. Aber geschenkten Gaul, ne? Und lädt. Und lädt. Und lädt. Und Tee. Equeo movere. Aha, die kann man inspizieren. Jawohl. Die aber nicht. Okay. Vigiler Bad. Ja, ein schönes Bad. Da ist nichts und da ist wahrscheinlich dann auch nichts. Aber hier ist was. Die Militärkommandante. Das dampft noch oder raucht noch. Aha. Todesangst. Okay. Oder auch nicht. Und ich finde ja schon gar nicht mehr zurück. Na gut, das war ein gerader Weg. War ein Scherz. Oh, habe ich sie umgestoßen? Das war nicht nett. Irgendwie. Aber springen kann man nicht hier. Ups. Oh, das geht aber wirklich. Oh Gott. Das wird doch nicht all sein. Na, da kann ich nicht rein. Okay. Gut. Wie ist die Steintafel? Ich muss erstmal die Steintafel finden. Ist die das hier? Ah ja.
To whoever reads this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this. And worse, you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. And here there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now and find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Das lag hier doch auch vorhin noch, ne? Oder? Das leuchtet immer noch, kann ich nicht mitnehmen. Ne? Tja, dann soll ich da wohl hingehen, ne? Dafür wurde das ja gemacht. Ach, ich habe übrigens die Musik hier ausgestellt. Wer also dazu noch Lala haben will, der muss sie einstellen. Oder so lassen. Die ist ja an, wenn man das Spiel startet. So, dann gucken wir mal hier. In Panik. So, wo finde ich denn den Schlüssel, um wieder rauszukommen? Jetzt gehen wir also zum Portal. Das ist ja nicht normal. Kann nichts sehen, den kann springen auch, kann ich auch nicht. Das ist blöd. Na, dann gucken wir mal. Finde den Übergang zur Vergangenheit. Was ist das hier? Aha. Tritt durch den Übergang in die Vergangenheit. So. Kann ich hier nichts lesen oder so? Ah, jetzt hat er mich eingesaugt. Ich wollte doch gar nicht. Ich wollte einmal rumgehen. Ah, der Warp-Tunnel. Auf Y. Okay. Ah, Fotomodus. Ja, alles weiß, diesmal nicht schwarz. Ja. Also Y und Fotomodus ist hinzugekommen. Und lädt. Lädt. Und lädt. Lädt. Das Augensymbol. LT zum Sprinten. Ja. Gucke ich mir erstmal gleich an, was es da so gibt. Tritt durch den Übergang in die Vergangenheit. Das ist ein großes Portal, 2 Frauen. Ich frage mich, wer sie sein können. Nichts zu essen, gar nichts. So, dann machen wir erstmal Y. So. Aha. Ja, markierte Quest verfolgen, da bleibt ja nichts, ne? Okay, so, was haben wir denn hier? Inventar, Denar. Taschenlampe und eine beschriebene Steintafel. Ach, hier sind jetzt neue Wege. Gucken wir uns das doch mal an hier. Ah, jetzt bin ich da unten quasi.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess of springtime? You're not from around here, are you? Oh, I see what you did there, changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again, who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine? What? I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you? One more time. Who are you, and what were you doing in that shrine?
Ah, das glaubt er mir dann nicht.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh,
Seid ihr etwas verwirrt?
Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March? It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused. 817 years since the founding of Rome. Which part of the empire are you from, exactly? Hey, not so loud. Just saying that name could land you in trouble here. If you haven't heard, his cultists burned down half of Rome last year. Horrible business. I heard Nero executed some of them, but a lot of people are still angry with them, even down here. So, if you're one of them, keep it to yourself. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but
Aber ihr
you
besonders.
seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So, let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming? Follow me. When I first arrived, I couldn't believe there were people living down here. But, as you can see, we've got a nice little community now. Only 23 of us at the moment, if you count the 3 who are missing. No idea how, since nobody knows a way out. But it's just big and dark enough to get lost in, if you're not careful.
Aren't you going to introduce me to your handsome new friend, Galerius?
Keep it in your loincloth, Aurelia. I'm taking him to see the magistrate.
That pompous old bore won't be magistrate for much longer. Anyone who helps vote him out today drinks at my bar for free tonight.
Politics. I'd stay clear of it and her, if I were you. She's... it's not my place to say. Down on your right is our farm, where I grow all the food you'll ever want. As long as all you want is leek, cabbage, and wheat. Huh. That one usually gets a chuckle.
The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
Don't mind Livia. She means well. She's just been in a bad place since... Well, you know, I don't know what happened to her. Up here on your right is the chasm. If you've got a weapon, it belongs way down at the bottom. Up on your left is the forum, where you can visit the market or get yourself patched up in Lucretia's clinic in the Shrine of Apollo. Most of us have almost nothing, just what we had on us when we arrived, and what we've been able to make and scrounge up since. And this central plateau is where the magistrate and the other patricians live, so don't expect a warm welcome.
Galerius, you're meant to be working the farm, not trudging dirt into the villas.
Take it easy, Horatius. I was just taking our new friend here to see the magistrate.
Well, he's asked me to escort the newcomer personally. The farm. Go. Now.
You'd better go with him. But just remember, they're not like you and me. Don't let them use you.
What was that? What did you just say?
I said it'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, I'm watching you, farm boy. Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the golden rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today. Follow me. The only thing you really need to understand right now is the golden rule. Let me see if I can explain it this way. When I was serving in the Legion, if there was a mutiny brewing in one cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws, and whoever drew the short straw had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong. One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the golden rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. Who's up these stairs? What now? I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughters. Daughter, I should say. And the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals. I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing all right for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over.
Alles
Not
vorbei.
anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl. And pick up a little pendant from a silversmith.
Anhänger.
That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some genetricum fugitor tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose. Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. That said, Centilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit. He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that. I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested. I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow. Of course. Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it. What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers-in-arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides.
Es gibt immer eine Möglichkeit.
True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
Yes.
A war crime. Isn't that a contradiction in terms? As Cicero said, in times of war the law falls silent.
So ist es.
Good. Perhaps we'll make a legionary out of you yet. If you like. Not that it's any of your business, but my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery, and intimidation. The man's a savage. But he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change. I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings. All right.
So, wo soll ich jetzt hin? Dahin, ne? Zu ihm, ja. Er sieht ja aus wie der klassische Cäsar.
I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name? A curious name to match a curious accent. But I digress. Now, you're probably wondering why I summoned you, and I'll get to that. But first, take a look at this wondrous place, would you? A secret city built deep in the mountains, many hundreds of years ago. Indeed. More importantly, consider the miraculous community we've built here over the last 7 months. 22 complete strangers brought together by the fates, living and working together in our own little paradise. And in all that time, not a single sin has been committed. No fights, no theft, nothing. Have you ever witnessed something so extraordinary as a city without sin? Nor could I until I came here. But the reason for this miracle is as simple as it is terrifying. If even one person commits a sin here, every last one of us will die. You see, the builders of this place, whoever they were, left inscriptions warning, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." From what we can gather, breaking the law here will anger the gods and provoke a terrible punishment. Like the curses of Medusa and Midas combined, turning us all to
Ja,
gold.
danke.
We've come to call it the Golden Rule. It's extraordinary that we've survived as long as we have, and each day I grow more and more afraid that our time in the sun is almost up. And now it seems that day is finally here. All that matters is that somebody in this city is about to break the Golden Rule. Why else would Proserpina send you now? Unless you and I can stop them, our doom is assured. I know that's a lot to take in, and you look like you have questions. Please, ask away. An intelligent question. There was a good deal of debate about that in our first weeks here. Does it refer to crimes, or to some other ill-defined wrong? Of course, everyone agrees on the basics. No theft, no assault, and certainly no murder. But beyond that, it was more difficult to reach a consensus. What about lying, insulting someone?
Das ist ja philosophisches Spiel, ja?
Trying to escape, bribery, infidelity.
Viel in die Grafik investiert, aber nichts in die Geschichte. Naja, es ist ein Spiel halt, ne?
And so I made a decision. We must uphold the laws of the Empire to a standard never before seen. And we must honor the peace of the gods, the sacred accord between the gods and the people of Rome. It is only by offering the gods the proper respect that we may prosper, as Rome has for centuries. I'm glad you agree. The key things to remember are that we have laws forbidding treason and blasphemy, murder, assault and rape, as well as theft and arson and so on. I have made my pronouncement on the subject. Unfortunately, there are still those here who resist, whispering blasphemous and treasonous lies in the shadows. I would be keeping a close eye on them if I were you. You see, in my search for a way to save my people, I learned of an ancient ritual to Proserpina, the goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. It's said to open a doorway in time, so that if the unthinkable happens, one person can pass through it and travel back to the past. And when I saw you arrive in a flash of light from the goddess's shrine, I knew that person was you.
Der weiß Bescheid.
You don't belong in our time, do you? 2,000 years? That is unfathomable. Please tell me, in your time, what did you see? What had become of us, of this city? I have imagined it, our downfall, 1,000 times, but it still breaks my heart to hear the truth of it. All I can tell you is that it's a ritual sacrifice to Proserpina. I stumbled across instructions. I have to recite a prayer, and of course, as with all rituals, some sacrifice is involved. Usually that means wine or food, or in some cases a live animal. In this case, the sacrifice is rather more costly. The life of the person performing the ritual. I don't suppose you saw any sign of me in the future? Ah, I assume that was me. If I'm forced to perform the ritual, it's going to cost me everything. You'll try to make sure I don't need to use it, won't you?
Und you?
Well, I suppose that's all I can ask for. Well, I believe you're in the best position to go around asking people questions. You're new here, and it'll seem perfectly normal.
That
As
makes
for me,
sense.
well,
Nee, das heißt ja Sinn,
pains me
ne?
to say my attempts to impose order have not earned me many friends. I fear I may not even remain magistrate after today's election. The people here would only treat my curiosity with suspicion. You shouldn't have that problem, though, unless, of course, you get off on the wrong foot.
Na gut.
Do you ever stare at a problem for so long that you can't see it for what it is anymore?
Yes,
What's needed
yes.
here is a fresh pair of eyes. The less I prejudice
Das
the
ist
independence of your
wäre richtig.
investigation, the better. You mean you couldn't speak Latin before you arrived here? How strange. But the gods are active here, and their temples and shrines hum with power like nowhere else in the empire. Perhaps when Proserpina brought you here, she planted the seed of Latin in your mind so that you could better serve her. An unbeliever, then? If you come up with a better explanation, I'll be interested to hear it. If I understand Proserpina's ritual correctly, that problem should take care of itself. Let me see if I can explain. If you manage to prevent the sin that breaks the golden rule, I won't need to bring you here. I won't create the portal, and you will never have been able to come here. Thus, you'll have created a paradox. If this occurs, you should be flung back to your own time, having changed the past for all of us. Make sense?
Diese Fragen werden später verfügbar sein. Ne?
Ah, good. So, are you with me? Can I count on you to figure out who's about to break?
Yes, I figure it out.
Wonderful. Now, I need you to investigate the city, talk to everyone, help them if it'll win their trust. I authorize you to enter private homes and inspect possessions and documents, unless, of course, you're asked to leave. Figure out who the culprit is, and as soon as you have a name, come back and tell me immediately. Oh, and one last thing. If I were you, I'd start my investigation by visiting Lucretia at the Shrine of Apollo in the Forum. I heard wailing from there not long ago. Seems like something's not right.
Okay, 69 Meter. Springen wir gleich rüber hier. Zack. Geht nicht. Okay. Muss ich zurück. Tochter ist verschwunden, die Schwester. Aha. Immer noch der Flakon. Ich will das da. Büste. Also geht nur noch die Büste. Aha. Nix mit den Scheiner. Nee. Ja, was hat er da oben? Ein Salino. Hat einer sein Salino hingeklebt. Und das kriege ich nicht zu fassen hier, ne? Okay. Abluden aufgehen. Ne, wir wollen nichts stehlen. Das geht nicht. Aha, das war die Karin bestimmt.
Citizen.
Ich jetzt immer so, Da komme ich der Sache näher. Wie ist denn hier schon eine Goldstatue? Aha, auf X. Ich werde versuchen, euch zu führen. Lucretia.
Give me a moment. Sorry I'm such a mess. I just lost a patient and a dear friend. Julia. She was a good woman.
A good woman.
She was poisoned. She
Was?
came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally I'd treat her with resin of silphium, a rare plant which is
Aber
perfect for this
es
sort of
gibt
thing.
kein Silphium.
And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule, or why she cursed that snake's cruel black eyes with her dying breath. Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead, there's really just one thing you can do. Get
Besorg
me that
das.
silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day, or in the next hour. And I
Oh,
will
wei.
not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me from marching up to that Genetricum
Ach, das ist
Fututo
der
and
Genetricum
scratching his
Fututo.
eyes out.
Aha.
Well, come back if you get sick or injured. Day or night, I'll do what I can.
Wieder eine Goldfigur hier. Was soll denn das?
May Apollo keep you safe.
Yes. Maybe. So, das soll ich mal speichern. Wird gespeichert, jawohl. So, ich denke mal, kannst du dich unsichtbar machen? Das weiß ich nicht. Ne, ich wollte ja erstmal hier reingucken, was das für ein Spiel ist. Und das ist für Leute, die gerne Rätsel lösen. Ne, ich weiß nicht, ob du schon online warst hier bei mir, als ich gedacht habe, wie ich an das Spiel gekommen bin. Ich habe heute für 1 Euro im Microsoft Store, den du bei Windows aufrufen kannst, den ultimativen Game Pass gekauft. Dafür bekommt man 1 Monat plus 2 Monate zusätzlich, also 3 Monate, kannst du alle Spiele für den PC und auch bei EA Play, nicht nur bei Microsoft, auch bei EA Play, dir runterladen und spielen. Ne? Das ist natürlich eine super Gelegenheit für jemanden, der streamt und sich das nicht alles kaufen kann. Deswegen habe ich zum Beispiel dieses Spiel hier runtergeladen und guck mir das jetzt an. Und so können auch andere jetzt sehen, ob es was für sie wäre oder nicht. Ne? So, ich werde jetzt aber das Spiel beenden, verlassen und sage danke fürs Zuschauen. Ah, da warst du schon dabei, jawohl. Ja, also, ne, danke fürs Zuschauen. Wenn es euch gefallen hat, freue ich mich wie immer über einen netten Kommentar. Gefällt mir. Auch danke für die Chatnachrichten. Und wir sehen uns im nächsten Video. Bis dahin viel Spaß beim selber spielen. Tschüss.